I have to be a little bit careful with what I'm going to say because I need to steer clearly away from smut, but it's very difficult when you're dealing with Nigel Farage. The police do not launch investigations into crime, into election crime, lightly. The standard is high. You must bring evidence that is both plausible and material, and it is an even higher bar before anyone feels confident enough to make that report in the first place. Most of us, if we suspected wrongdoing, would agonize over whether what we actually saw or witnessed was indeed criminal. I certainly did. I attempted to raise my concerns quietly through the proper political channels. I was assured there was a problem, then nothing. Silence so loud you could hear the electoral returns rustle. So, to be absolutely honest, once the police are assessing allegations against a major party leader who has just entered Parliament on his 8th attempt, that alone is newsworthy. The allegation is stark that Reform UK and specifically Nigel Farage's Clapton campaign, which by all the description is described as a juggernaut, exceeded the legal spending limit by thousands, not by a few stray leaflets, but by banners, vans, media stuff, and that infamous reform-themed bar which looks less like a grassroots politics display and more like a Eurovision green room. Now, faced with such allegations, a normal party would attempt to rebut them with invoices, receipts, calm professionalism. Reform UK has chosen a different strategy. They have decided that the most convincing way to defend themselves against claims of improper electoral expenditure is to shout the phrase sex toys into the nearest microphone and hope everyone gets distracted. Well, of course we do, but it does raise a number of interesting questions. If these items were supposedly so widespread as to cause reputational damage, why has not a single journalist produced them? Are they shaped like Nigel? Do they pop up on flags at rallies? And where exactly are these, what should we call them, prowler products or fetch items? You're not talking about a dog when you're talking about fetch, Nigel. Where are these things intended to be used? Clacton Pier? Are they sold for tuppence with a nice lolly? The armoured Land Rover? The reform-themed bar, perhaps, behind the artisan pump handles labelled Vote Harder? Reform's explanation appears to rest on the theory that nothing focuses the mind like flinging a salacious rumour into the air and running away before anyone asks about receipts above £20. It's a political misdirection of the most manusuperacious kind. Never mind the rule of law. Look over there. Someone once kept something saucy in a drawer. Called Nigel. The party's own spin is reaching a point where fetch is no longer about the dog, it's about Nigel. The deflection has its own momentum. They are auditioning for Britain's Got Scandal, and the statements are wonderfully contradictory. The whistleblower, they say, is a disgruntled former councillor. How did he get hold of these toys? Yet the same man was trusted to escort their leader around the constituency. Quite the promotion for someone supposedly unfit to guard stationery. As for this mysterious rumour of Farage's political enemies circulating obscene prowler products, if there truly is a conspiracy to mass-produce Nigel-shaped novelties, suddenly I couldn't get the word out, one can only assume the market challenge. Michael Gove, for example, has long dominated the niche trade in politicians inspiring adult humour. Putting Michael Gove to shame takes genuine entrepreneurial spirit. And yet, beneath the comedy, something cold and serious must be rising. Electoral fraud is not a punchline. It strikes at the core of public trust. It can overturn results. It corrodes democracy. And that is why police involvement matters and why Reform's response is so revealing. If you had flawless accounts, you would publish them. If you didn't, you'd bury the public in headlines about locked drawers and personal embarrassment. Journalists have asked the simplest of questions. Where are the receipts? Where is the documentation for an armoured Land Rover on Clacton Pier, like a tanks on the lawn reenactment? Who funded the Clacton office bar with its decorative reform blue, as if they were preparing for a themed wedding? These are the easy questions if everything is lawful. They become harder only when the figures do not add up. So yes, mockery is deserved. Oh, it's deserved, miss. But it should never obscure the core issue. Either the spending was legal or it was not. Either every penny is accounted for or it's not. Either the law applies to everyone, including Nigel Farage, or it doesn't apply at all. And in this country, it does. Even if someone in Reform HQ is currently trying to assemble a range of novelty-shaped political memorabilia to distract us from that basic truth.